Feels good to be back. Hey, we jamming a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Turn it up! Going to violence. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm back in the building, man. We have an announcement here. I am doing my podcast differently now, okay? Algorithms. Dude, this hat, bro, when I'm backwards, I just can't. Like, dude, I'm dead ass trying. Okay. Algorithms have been studied. Tips have been given by my friend Cortland. And I'm dropping my podcast in parts, man. I'm doing it in parts. I think it's the best thing to do. So part 1, part 2, part 3, however many parts I have, they will drop in consecutive days. And then at the end of the week, I will drop the podcast, the full podcast. And I'm obviously going to keep doing the fantasy shit. Okay? Fantasy is dropping probably tonight on Monday. I'll do a fantasy recap tonight. Yeah, I'll do a fantasy recap tonight. And I'll tell you how that's going. I've been kind of lacking on the content. I'm so sorry. I keep saying I'm going to do the content. Yo, life is happening. Okay, I'm so sorry. I just got to buckle down and stop being a pussy and just do this shit, right? And I just gotta do it to it, man. I think people love the fantasy content, so I gotta keep coming with it. And also on Saturdays, I'm just gonna do it, man. Fuck it. I'm streaming. I'm gonna start streaming, and I'm just gonna be just chatting. The thing is, like, I have an Xbox, so it's hard to stream on an Xbox. Actually, like my fucking Hunter. It's straight. Okay. My camera cuts in and out on my Xbox for some reason, so I would love to play games and all that. And I'm pretty good at video games. I mean, I'm pretty fucking good at 2K and Madden and Call of Duty. I'm good at video games, but it's just one of those things that the equipment is hindering my ability to do so. So that is what it is. But today on part 1 of Shooting the Shit with Sands, episode 74, I apologize for the Spotify shit. Dude, something happened with the audio, and part 2 got straight deleted. I don't know where it went. Like, part 1's there, but part 2's deleted. I don't know what happened, but either way, this is 74, man. Episode 74 of Shooting the Shit with Sands. I hope y'all are doing well. And that's actually what we're going to talk about on part 1 today. Something pretty serious that I've talked about before, but I thought I would talk about it again, and that is mental health. With all this news about Lane Johnson and Calvin Ridley stepping away from football, Calvin Ridley just dropped a statement saying he's going to step away from football. He appreciates everybody supporting him and all that to focus on his mental health. And Lane Johnson did the same thing. Freaking out, sounding like someone's trying to break into my apartment. If I have to grab the strap, I will. But let's get serious, okay? It's a serious topic. and I'll actually, like, to talk about what people come here for, the sports side of things, I will talk about the fantasy impact of that, by the way. I don't want to bring that into light, but it's something I need to talk about, the fantasy impact. I hope the best for him and all that. But I need to talk about that as well. So we're just going to start with the serious stuff first, okay? So we can end this on a fun note, talking about fantasy, right? So I don't even know how to start this. I've gone over my story, right? I'm not going to tell it over and over again. I'm getting nervous talking about this for some reason, even though I've talked about it before and I wasn't nervous at all. I think it's because I had a recent, down, I wouldn't call an episode. That sounds like I'm a crazy person. But let me turn this phone off. See, I'm getting all jittery and shit. But yeah, so I had a recent episode of depression that was very odd. It was like a 3-day span. But I've shared my story, and it's been years now that I've dealt with this, right? I know, man, it's kind of trendy to be depressed, and I will continue to hammer this topic. I think people think they're depressed when they're not. I think people take adversity that they've never seen before and been through and can't get through it as well as they have previously and look at it as depression. And that is not the case. So when you say you were depressed, I already know you weren't because you said you were. Like you just got over it. You got up one day and you got over it. So you found a flaw in yourself that you either accepted or that you, and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything. I'm talking about my experiences and how I view people that speak on mental health the way that they do. Right? I'm not judging anybody or like their character, but a lot of people I kind of do because they look at it as a fugazi shit or fraudulent or whatever, right? But I would say, honestly, you saying, yeah, I was depressed like for like 3 months, bro. I was like, dude, I really wasn't liking how I was, like, people say this and I'm not trying to be over, like, I'm doing the most basic way to talk about it because people use this word so loosely, like, bro, I wasn't working out enough and I really was depressed about how I looked. You were not depressed, bro. You were self-conscious as shit. You were self-conscious, which can lead to depression, but you don't get over that by doing some fucking curls at the gym and getting your biceps bigger. All right. And I'm going to tie this into Calvin Ridley, by the way. So I'm not just going to be selfish here. And so when people talk about it like that, I already have their viewpoint of depression in my head, even if they're accepting of mental health issues and disorders and things of that nature. You know, when people have mental health problems, it is not a one-day thing. It's not, I don't know how to explain it. It's not this, it's not that. It's just something that is almost unexplainable, but I'm going to do my best to do it. It's as if, I don't know, you go through life and you harp on your worst days the most, and you don't even give yourself credit for the good or the success you had or think the good things that you've done. You always look at the bad side of life, right? I'm getting nervous as fuck. I don't know why. Even now, my challenges with it have a lesson, but I still fight them. I still lay in bed at night and I can't sleep. You can tweet Nia. I won't show her this. You can tweet what happens when Hunter tries to go to sleep. My heart goes 1,000,000 miles per hour. And, you know, there's a difference between what y'all do when you're staying up at night and thinking about things and what you could have done different than what I have. I'm having almost a borderline anxiety attack when I close my eyes to sleep. And I've been told by professionals that is me having, like, I don't want to use the word trauma, but that's what it is. Like trauma from actually not being able to sleep when I was in that deep, deep hole of what I was in back in the day. You know, I was really a bum, man. I was a bum motherfucker. And I should have been living out of my car. And I'm not talking about the situation with getting laid off and stuff. Like, I literally, if my dad wasn't around to, like, keep me going, I don't know where I would be, who I would be, and things of that nature. He kept a roof over my head, paying for an apartment that he had no business paying for because I was just failing out of school and shit, right? Out of college. And to speak on that, it's still things like that I look at. You know, like, damn, you're 27, bro. 27. You're going to finish school. You haven't accomplished things that other people have accomplished at your age. And I've stopped comparing myself to my siblings, but I still find myself, because my siblings are very intelligent humans, and I scored a 29. I didn't do the writing section on my ACT. I got a 29 at 32. Okay? I'm not an idiot. I know I sound like a dumbass all the time, but I got a 29 out of 32, and I graduated 380-ish out of 420. Blaze it. Out of 420 people in my high school class. So it's a lack of effort. It's a lack of caring about myself. I started analyzing like certain things about myself, and I realized this maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't live for myself. I know that sounds insane. And this is going to sound horrible when it comes out, but it's how I feel. I have nothing to live for within myself. And this is not a fucking suicide thing or anything. It's just, I would never do that. It's just one thing I've come to grips with. I never tried it, none of that. And if you've dealt with that in your life, I am so sorry, because I have friends that have dealt with it too, and had problems with thoughts like that. So it's this thing where I can't imagine like just being alone and living for myself. It's not that I'm dependent on somebody to live, but I want to be successful for Nia. I want to be successful so I can provide for my niece or my children in the future. Like, I don't ever look internally at not necessarily what I want. It's like, what is my goal in life really, Am I trying to succeed on my own, or am I succeeding for myself, or am I succeeding for some other people? And it's definitely for other people. One, to view me a certain way, and two, so I can provide for those who I love. You know what I mean? And that's the wild part. I'm not a rich man. I'm not Calvin Ridley. And it's such a weird thing that even at my happiest, or like my most successful moments, like I am now, I'm the most successful I've ever been. Right? And is that saying something? I don't think so. But to me, see how I just I literally do it like it's secondhand. I have to backhand compliment myself. You know what I mean? I can't take pride in things that I've done. It's like a therapy session for me, just talking to my camera. And it's just one of those secondhand things. And I don't know what's going on with Calvin Ridley, but I can't imagine being in his position with millions of dollars, right? You have everything you want, but you're not happy. And I can't imagine how hard that is. You know what I mean? Like, when I was broke and had 80 cents in my account and I didn't have any grocery money because I spent it on weed, and I got to go steal some fucking food from the store to eat that night, at least I know there is nothing to be happy about other than I got to eat that night. And I have food, and I got weed, and I got lights, and I got Xbox and shit like that. This man has anything he wants in life, and I can't imagine looking around you going, I literally have everything I want, but I'm still, something's off with me. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong? I would go absolutely insane if that was my case. I would be crazy. I would literally go insane. So I just can't imagine that, And yeah, I'm just sitting here just thinking about things about, like, because I'm so into the mental health department, because I've done the shit, man. I've been there, done that, okay? And I'm just like delving into my mind right now about how the way that I talk to people and things of that nature, like almost not wanting to talk to my parents in a sense, because parents like to deep dive on you when you hadn't talked to them in even like 2 weeks. They deep dive, and I'm like frightened of the "how are you" question. You know what I mean? Sometimes I am frightened of that question, because you don't know what emotions that triggers when you're not in the right headspace. You don't know what that could trigger in your head. You honestly don't. And it's very, very weird that has happened to an NFL player, and I hope he gets good, and I'm glad Lane Johnson came back. And I think that, just speaking from my experience, once again, it's a long, long road, And you have good days, even like sometimes I don't know. It's so weird, like I genuinely have multiple days in a row. Oh, somebody's calling me. Okay, it's not Nia, not tripping. I have multiple days in a row where I genuinely don't feel like an emotion. I know that is so weird to sound like that sounds weird, but just one of those things that happens with me. I don't know. This is like once again, it's a therapy session. I'm just like, oh, this is how they would respond. But yeah, it's like you just sit there and I'll have a great day with Nia, and I'm in love with that woman. And she does make me happy. She does. Would I be happy without her? I'm not trying to be an asshole. Yeah, I could be happy. I've been happy by myself for a long time. And it's not self-hate anymore. I don't have self-hate. I had self-hate for a long time. It's like, it's once again going back to when I'm 19 and I just look at myself sometimes and go, why aren't you further along? You know what I mean? And everybody's responding, everybody has their own past. Well, you can say that shit as much as you want, but the people that say that also are really, got it together. People that say that shit have it together. Because you're not in my shoes where it seems like we do have different paths, but for some reason, things that I can't control and things I can control, I'm not taking away all accountability of myself, but a lot of bad luck shit happens, and maybe everybody has that luck, but they just get through it, And I get through it too. I just feel like when I look down my path, that horizon is so far. It's just so far away. It's untouchable sometimes. The end of the road is just so far, and maybe that's what people want. Well, it's supposed to be far away. You're not almost dead, no, but I'm talking about in a sense of short-term goals, or you always place, the way that my person said it was, you always put exits on your path, on your life road. And to me, it seems like I haven't really reached half the exits I've wanted to. So just one of them things, man. But that's my little almost teary-eyed talk about Calvin Ridley and mental health, and just my experience with Calvin Ridley, my experience on that shit. And I relate to those people that have those issues. I truly do. Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan, and there's a lot more that will not speak out about it. And I'm just glad we're accepting that these days. But you Twitter motherfuckers, man, y'all gotta stop talking about this shit. People tweeting, oh my God, when you have post-COVID party anxiety, and they're being dead serious. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have social anxiety because you were in your house for a year, you fucking idiot. You don't. People don't even know what social anxiety is. They're like, I just hate people. All right, bitch. Whatever, man. Men do it too. I have social anxiety. I don't like being around people but my friends in public. Are you going in public? Are you nervous? You don't know what I felt like when I was about to go to the bar? Right when we would leave, I'm like, oh yeah, it's time to go to the bar, baby. And right when I'm getting dressed and getting ready, I look in the mirror 39, 79, 129 times. Do I look perfect? What if this person I haven't seen in a year that I had a relationship for 2 weeks with sees me? How am I going to react? What if they see me? What are they going to think? And then, dude, it just starts, wow. It's just this fucking cloud, okay? Anyways, let's cut to the fantasy shit, okay? Okay, let's get to the fantasy stuff. So I actually have Calvin Ridley in one of my leagues. But Calvin Ridley missed a game, okay? I'm going to go to the stats for Kyle Pitts. I did not write this down. I just literally I just randomly came in here to give up. I was like, man, you know what? I've been struggling with my mental health, and I'm not ever scared of those conversations because I'm not ashamed of who I am. at the end of the day. I'm not. So, I am who I am. So, Calvin Ridley missed this week. And let me get to the dude with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts didn't do good either. Jesus Lord, that is terrible. I'm going to go to the game stats. They actually didn't have a good game overall offensively. Matt Ryan threw for 146 yards. They're going against the top 10 defense in the world. Not worried about these guys going forward. Dude, is his name Tajon Sharp, right? Is that his name? I think that's his name. I could be totally wrong. He was getting some targets. I think Cordero Patterson just going to have a bigger role. He's going to be moved around. Once again, Russell Gage is not a number one receiver. I don't even know what to look for in this offense. I truly don't. Taiwan Sharp? Well, let me click on the Sharp guy? Shit! Let me go to players and go to Sharp. Shit. Sharp. Tajay. See? Tajay Sharp. Okay, he had 6 targets, 5 catches, 58 yards. Russell Gage had... Shit, I'm going to look at his targets. I know he had 0 points. Russell Gage. 0 targets, 0 yards. What the fuck? Oh my God. Anyways, so I just think that this is going to be an explosion for Cordero Patterson at the end of the day. For however long Calvin Ridley takes to get his shit right, I think it's going to be an absolute explosion by Cordero. Maybe Mike Davis gets more passing work. I don't know. Once again, you have to wait another week to know what's going to happen with them. Obviously, Kyle Pitts to me is at a premium right now. You got to realize Jeremy Chinn's in the middle of that defense. They just have a bunch of guys that are fast and can get to the ball, and they're going to hone in on Kyle Pitts now. We're going to see what the rookie can do. But I wouldn't jump to any conclusions fantasy-wise. I wouldn't jump to any conclusions at all. I wouldn't be like, oh, I need to get him. I would trade for Kyle Pitts right now, though. Thing is, he's on a buy low after a 3-point performance. So if you got to do that, doesn't know what he's doing, like all my 10-man league, when I get into that, Jesus Christ. When I get into that, my God. Michael, come on, man. But yeah, if you got people that don't know what they're doing and you just want to scam somebody, dude, scam his ass for Kyle Pitts, bro. Get him the fuck off that team. You'll be very happy with that. You will. So it's just Matt Ryan looks not good. He looks like an older quarterback, but they're going to be down in a lot of games. Their offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, is very aggressive. He doesn't play pitter-patter ball. He wants to throw that shit around the yard as much as it's a limited offense, but I'm talking about throwing it around the yard in the sense that for what he's got, you know what I mean? He's going to give the ball to Cordero Patterson. And I want to see if it's because Calvin Ridley was actually a very consistent fantasy option for a PPR league. He was double digits every week. Not have a single game under double digits. So he was very good. You were just waiting for that explosion game, right? Well, you don't know. He may come back, and if he's right, you may see a fucking league winner come out of the bleachers. Now, if he announces he's out for the season, drop him. But if he doesn't announce that, I'm keeping his ass on my bench for the rest of the year. And if he's not there during a playoff something and I need to pick somebody up, I'll drop him. Right? In the championship or something, I'll drop his ass. I will. And that's okay. So, but yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Do not drop Calvin Ridley. But yeah, man, always be accepting of that shit and stop. Don't be like, yo, what the fuck, Calvin Johnson? You're fucking depressed? I'm depressed because you're not on my fucking lineup, bro. Don't be that guy, okay? I've said some wild shit, though. Yeah, I'm the one that you can't say it because it's offensive to me. I can't do that dude, say what you want. I would say just be more open-minded about it, okay? I'm not going to be a fucking hypocrite. I'm not. I say all this offensive shit to people. I can't come back and do that, okay? So, yeah, man. After this, we're actually going to talk about some NBA stuff. The horrible beat I got in the Cowboys game. Should have recorded that. That's where I fucked up. I always have content and I just don't record it. But yeah, we're going to talk about some Heat basketball specifically and let y'all know what I'm looking at and some of the teams I've been watching and what I see. And the Mavericks look fucking terrible. They suck. The Lakers aren't good. They've beaten lottery teams. So yeah, we're going to get into all this stuff. And that is part 1 of Shooting the Shit with Sands. I hope y'all enjoyed. I didn't mean to get too emotional on you guys, but thank you so much, man. I'll be right